Hey, today we're going to be talking about Chapter 7, Lesson 1 and 2. We're going to kind of combine those lessons because most of you already have learned the exponent, so that's going to be a quick review before we get into Lesson 2. So for Lesson 1, our objective is you will write and find the value of expressions with positive numbers and whole number exponents. So how do you write and find the values of expressions involving exponents? You can use an exponent and a base to show repeated multiplication of the same factor. An exponent is a number that tells how many times a number, called the base, is used as a repeated factor. So for example, there it shows 5 times 5 times 5. There's 3 repeating factors because that 5 is multiplied 3 times. So our base is 5 because that's the number being multiplied repeatedly, and the exponent is 3 because it was multiplied 3 times. So that number can be read as 5 to the third power or 5 cubed. If that was squared, it would be 5 to the second power or 5 squared. So let's unlock the problem. So you can use an exponent to write 3 times 3 times 3 times 3. The number 3 is used as a repeated factor. That's the one repeatedly being multiplied. I forgot to read the unlocked problem. The table shows the number of bonuses a player can receive in each level of video game. Use an exponent to write the number of bonuses a player can receive in level D. Okay, so we're looking down here at D, and that's where we got the 3 times 3 times 3 times 3. Okay, so the number 3 is used as a repeated factor. 3 is used as a factor 4 different times. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. So write the base and the exponent. So my base is 3, that's the number repeatedly being multiplied, and it's multiplied 4 times. So it's 3 to the 4th power. So a player can receive 3 to the 4th power bonuses in level D. Okay, so we're going to try this one. What number is being repeated? 7 is used as a repeated factor. 7 is used as a factor 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times. So we're going to write it as the base of 7 to the 5th power. Over here, the numbers 6 and 8 are used as repeated factors. Okay, those are the ones being used multiple times for multiplication. 6 is used as a factor 1, 2 times, and 8 is used as a factor 1, 2, 3 times. So we would write 6 to the 2nd power, or 6 squared, times 8 to the 3rd power, or 8 cubed. So we just took that original equation and condensed it down by using exponents. Example 1, find the value. 10 to the 3rd power, or 10 cubed, is what we're looking at. So I used repeated multiplication to write 10 cubed. The repeated factor is 10. And we're going to have to write the factor 3 times, which means I'm going to take 10 times 10 times 10. That is not 10 times 3, okay? This does not equal 10 times 3. It is 10 times 10 times 10. Then to solve that, we're going to multiply each pair of factors working from left to right. So we would take 10 times 10, which gives us 100. We're going to take that 100 times 10 again for that last one. 100 times 10 is 1,000. And if we look at B, 7 to the 1st power is saying that the repeated factor is 7, and we're going to write it 1 time. So 7 to the 1st power is the same thing as just 7. It's not multiplied by anything, just 7. Okay, example 2, write 81 with an exponent by using 3 as the base. Okay, so we're trying to figure out how to get to 81. We need the end result to be 81, but we have to use 3 as our base. So first we're going to try 3 squared, which is 3 times 3, which is 9. That's not 81. So now we're going to try 3 cubed, which is 3 times 3 times 3. Well, 3 times 9, 3 times 3 is 9, times 3 again, that gets us to 27. Still not where we want to be. Let's try 81. We're trying to get to 81. So let's try 3 to the 4th. So 3 times 3 times 3 times 3. 3 times 3 is 9. 3 times 3 is 9. 9 times 9 is 81. So 81 would be 3 to the 4th. That's what it wants if it says to write 81 with an exponent by using 3 as a base. Okay, it's looking for that 3 to the 4th power. Okay, now we're going to turn over to Chapter 7, Lesson 2 to continue today. Our learning objective is you will use the order of operations to evaluate expressions involving exponents. Okay, so we're going to combine order of operations and what we just learned with Lesson 1. So our essential question: how do you use the order of operations to evaluate expressions involving exponents? A numerical expression, vocab, okay? Numerical expression is a mathematical phrase that uses only numbers and operation symbols. So it gives you 3 examples there. Numbers and operation symbols only. You evaluate a numerical expression when you find its value. To evaluate an expression with more than one type of operation, you must follow a certain set of rules called order of operations. Okay, my class, you know that as PEMDAS or Please Excuse My Dear Aunt Sally, whichever one made more sense to your brain. For just a refresher on that, we have parentheses, exponents, multiply, divide, add, subtract. But we think of it as PEMDAS. Okay, so that tells me what comes first, what comes second, what comes third, and so on in my problem or my expression. Okay, so let's look at unlocking this problem. An archer shoots 6 arrows at a target. 2 arrows hit the ring worth 8 points, and 4 arrows hit the ring worth 4 points. Evaluate the expression 2 times 8 plus 4 squared to find the archer's total numbers. Okay, so it's 6 arrows. 2 of them hit the ring worth 8 points, which is why we have 2 times 8. And 4 of the arrows hit the ring worth 4 points. So we're going to take 4 times 4 to get that number. Okay, so looking at this, we're going to follow the order of operations. Write the expression. There are no parentheses. Okay, so they wrote it here. They didn't put any parentheses in there. Find the value of the numbers with exponents, because P is the first part of PEMDAS, but there are none. E is the next one, which is exponents, which means we have to do this first. So we have 2 times 8 plus 4 squared is the same thing as 4 times 4, which equals 16. Okay, we're going to multiply now from left to right. Looking back at our PEMDAS, multiply would be the next thing. So we're going to take 2 times 8, which is 16, and we're going to add that because the adding is at the bottom. So it's what we have to do after we multiply. So 16 plus 16 is 32. So the archer scores a total of 32 points. If we look at this, try this. There are no parentheses, so then we go to exponents. Find the value of the numbers with exponents. So 2 to the third is 2 times 2 times 2. 2 times 2 is 4 times 2 is 8. So now we have 24 divided by 8, which is 3. Example 1. Evaluate the expression 72 divided by 13 minus 4 plus 5 times 2 to the third power. Okay, break this down. Please don't forget PEMDAS. Okay, so write the expression. They already did that for us. Perform operations in, what is first? Parentheses. I think I spelled parentheses wrong earlier. Parentheses. So, that's first. 13 minus 4 is going to be 9. So now we're going to rewrite that. Please, please, please rewrite the expression every single time. Otherwise, you're going to forget steps or mess up the order. So now we're going to rewrite it, solving that into parentheses. 72 divided by 9 plus 5 times 2 to the third. So then we're going to find the values of numbers with, next one down is E, which is exponents. Two to the third, 2 times 2 is 4, times 2 is 8. Now we're going to multiply and divide from left to right, because multiply is next and then divide. So we're going to take 72 divided by 9, which is 8, plus, we're going to leave that plus there, we're not doing anything with it yet, and 5 times 8 is 40. So now we're going to take that 40 plus 8 and get 48. It is so important that you rewrite this expression every time you solve one more. Okay? I know it seems like a lot of extra work, but it is very, very, very important. Example 2. Last month, an online bookstore had approximately 10 to the 5th power visitors to its website. On average, each visitor bought 2 books. Approximately how many books did the bookstore sell last month? Step 1, you're going to write the expression. Think the number of books sold is equal to the number of visitors times the number of books each visitor bought. So the number of visitors would be 10 to the 5th times the number of books bought, which is 2. Now we're going to have to evaluate that expression. So write the expression. There are no parentheses, so we have 10 to the 5th times 2. Find the values of numbers with exponents. So 10 to the 5th is going to be 10 times 10 times 10 times 10, 1, 2, 3, 4, times 10. 10 times 10. 10 times 10. And times 10. Okay? Another way to think of it with tens, a little shortcut, as long as you understand how to do all this, is just count your zeros. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So my answer is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Which brings me to 100,000. And then we're going to take that times 2, because we have to multiply next, which is 200,000. So the bookstore sold approximately 200,000 books last month. Okay, I do want to go through one of these share and shows because we have done one like this. Fine. Okay, so let's look at number 3 on share and show. Okay, so because the parentheses are here, we have to do that first. So I know there's an exponent by that 3, but it is not 3 squared. Okay, so you still have to do those parentheses first. So 15 minus 3, which is 12. Oh, I have to. Okay, so 15. So we're going to do 15 minus 3 first, which is 12 times 12, which equals 144. I'm going to take 144 divided by 9, which is 1, 5, 4, 6. So my answer will be 16. Okay? Now how I want you to make sure you show that work is do the parentheses first. Okay? So it's written once for you. Underneath, you should write 12 squared divided by 9. Then you're going to write 144 divided by 9. Then you're going to write equals 16. This is the work that we should see for all of these problems. Okay, and just to reiterate what our objective for today's lesson is. Okay, our objective is you will use the order of operations, which I just showed you, to evaluate expressions involving exponents, which we just did. Okay, so you should be able to now solve any of these expressions involving exponents with the use of order of operations.